Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more transfer rumours and gossip. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So we do know basically that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to build an ambitious squad and all that, and obviously he's looking to build a squad worthy of the club's mystery. Obviously he's looking to bring at least 5 new additions to the club this summer. Obviously we've already got Daniel James on the board for £18 million, and obviously we do know now it's looking very imminent that Bissaka, of course, is going to be coming in, and obviously it's looking very imminent. He's going to be our second signing this summer. I think we are set to get him for around £55 million in total. So obviously this is going to take Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's net spend to around £70 million on 2 players. But obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recruit British talent to Manchester United this summer. Obviously Bissaka is British, and obviously there has been quite a few British players on our current agenda. But obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has worked out his transfer strategy for this summer. Obviously he wants to recommend young, hungry, homegrown talent and all that. And I do believe we are moving away for the policy of signing them well established players. But obviously you can see the deficiencies in the squad, and obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to address them deficiencies. Obviously a lot of reports were reflecting out last week, saying that we'd only been given £100 million to spend and all that. It actually provided a reason why we'd only been given £100 million to spend. Obviously, based on our failure, to qualify for the Champions League for next season. But I thought initially, it was £200 million that we had been given to spend. But like I said, £100 million, of course, isn't enough, to address the deficiencies in the squad, because obviously, we want to get a central defender in, want to get a couple of new additions in that midfield, want to get a right winger in, we do want to get a striker in. Obviously, when we've got Àaron Bissaka over the line, we're only going to have £20 million to spend, and obviously, that's not going to be enough, to address the deficiencies in the squad. But anyway, good news has come out within regards to Àaron Bissaka, obviously, as they have been updating you on a regular basis. Obviously, recent reports have said, he's set to have his Manchester United medical, sometime this week. I think we are set to pay an initial fee of around £42.5 million, but I do believe, it will potentially, rise up to around £55 million. But, Àaron Bissaka has actually, agreed personal terms on an £80,000 a week deal with Manchester United, so he's set to earn around £80,000 a week. Obviously, recent, I think he did say over the course of the weekend that we'd put on the third bid in for Àaron Bissaka. Obviously, we've had 2 previous bids turned down for him, but he did say one of the bids included add-ons of us, winning the Champions League and all that. But obviously, Crystal Palace this is unrealistic, so I think they'd actually currently turned this down. But obviously, the previous bids we had turned down obviously was £50 million. Obviously, it wasn't £50 million up front. We'd offered, obviously it was 35 million with 15 million add-ons included, which did potentially rise it to around £50 million. But obviously Crystal Palace had turned this down because obviously there was not happy with the structure of the offer, and obviously we had a first bid turned down around £48 million. But I do believe Crystal Palace do want around between 45 between 45 to 50 million pounds up front and all that. So I just think we need to pay around £50 million up front. Crystal Palace initially rate Àaron Bissaka at around £60 million. But like I said, we are set to get him for around £42.5 million. Obviously, we have been in more extensive talks with Crystal Palace over, getting a deal concluded and all that. But I do believe it will rise up to around £55 million. So obviously, this is going to make him the most expensive fullback in Premier League history. Also, making the most expensive British defender ahead of Kyle Walker and all that. But I do believe, Àaron Bissaka is worth £50 million. But obviously, Duncan Castles came out last week, and he basically said, he's a journalist, and he said Manchester United had come to an agreement with Crystal Palace on the world record fee for Àaron Bissaka around £55 million. But I do really like him a lot. Like I said, he will fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy, perfectly. He's predominantly a right back. Like I said, he's only 21 years of age, and obviously so far he has spent the entirety of his career with Crystal Palace. Obviously, he's been a Crystal Palace player, since the age of 11. Obviously, graduated from their youth system, and obviously, made his senior debut in February of last year, and obviously, last season, established himself as a first team regular and all that. And I think he's gone on to make like 42 senior appearances. I think reflecting reflecting on his impressive performances last season for Crystal Palace. He won Palace's Player of the Year. He has still got 3 years left on his contract with Crystal Palace. Initially, when he was younger, he was an out-and-out winner, was Bissaka. But obviously, as he was developing and all that, he got reverted as a fullback, reflecting on his tenacity and all that. But I think, he'll address our defensive deficiencies, really, really well. Like I said, I think he'll elevate Manchester United forward. And, we have got to get our number one targets this summer. We have got to get the right recruitment, because analysing our recruitment policy, it's not too good, to be quite honest with you. And quite a few people have suggested out, we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer. But like I said, I think Àaron Bissaka, will be the right solution for Manchester United. I do believe he will rejuvenate the team, and with him coming to Manchester United, it's going to rejuvenate his career, of course. It's going to take his footballing career to the next level and all that. I think also, Tottenham didn't inquired about his services, but it's looking very imminent. He's going to be our second signing this summer. I thought initially we would have got I thought his transfer would have been fully completed, over the course of the weekend, because it didn't, as you say, wanted to get the transfer completed, within the next 48 hours, last week on Friday, I think it was, because obviously we held more extensive talks, but we have been negotiating about a fee at least for the last 3 weeks now. But yeah, I think we are set to get him for around £55 million in total. So I probably do believe there will be add-ons included in the deal. But Palace has said basically, they want around 45 million up front, or between 45 to 50 million pounds up front, like I said. But he has been on our agenda for quite some time, because we've got issues defensive, and obviously that was proven last season, because we conceded 54 goals in the Premier League, in 38 games last season, our highest total in 40 years. And like I said, we've got to see vast improvements, going on into this season. Because obviously, last season was very disappointing. We finished 6th. We didn't win any silverware. But let's be honest, we haven't won any silverware in the last couple of seasons. Obviously, we haven't won the Premier League, since 2013. So obviously, that's over 6 years now. But like I said, we've been a toxic club for the last 5 or 6 years. And obviously, we have been playing catch up. We've had different managers with different philosophies, since Alex Ferguson retired. We've obviously sat 3 managers, since Alex Ferguson retired. But like I said, a lot of money has been spent into the club. Players have come in, and of course, players have gone and all that. But like I said, we've got to get the right players in, that can, get Manchester United back, to being a competitive elite level football club. But like I said, with us getting Àaron Bissaka, obviously, it's going to take our net spend to around 70 odd million pounds. So, I think we have been given £100 million to spend. So I think when we do get the deal finalised for Àaron Bissaka, then I think, we need to, consider, selling, before we can currently buy him and all that. But I probably think, probably 3 or 4 players are expected, to leave Manchester United this summer, maybe 5. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has confirmed now, that he does want to sell Paul Pogba. Obviously, the main factor reason why he wants to sell him, obviously, to generate funds and help rebuild the squad and all that. And I think, for the departures of Paul Pogba and Lukaku, I think we can probably, probably generate around £200 million at least, maybe even more than that. So I do believe that will help us with our transition, and it will, of course, help us with our rebuilding process. But saying about Àaron Bissaka, I think he'll be a fantastic replacement for Antonio Valencia, because we do know Valencia is leaving the club. Obviously, he's served 10 years at Manchester United. I also think he'll be a great upgrade to Ashley Young. Obviously, Ashley Young's been another long-serving player at the club. He's been here 8 years, and I think he'll be a good cover-up for Diego Dalot, with Àaron Bissaka. So Diego Dalot, obviously, we only got him last summer. Obviously, Diego Dalot is too inexperienced at the moment, and obviously, he's the upcoming futures. Yeah, Àaron Bissaka, will be absolutely fantastic for Manchester United. So his transfer, should be completed, sometime this week. Obviously, I think the next signing after Àaron Bissaka, I do presume, will be Bruno Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon. Now, we do know he's been on Manchester United's agenda, for quite some time. Obviously, it's very imperative, that we do get a deal over the line for him. I don't think we've yet stepped our interest up in Bruno Fernandes, because obviously, we're focusing on getting the deal over the line for Àaron Bissaka. Then I do believe, we will step up our interest in getting Bruno Fernandes. Now, obviously, quite a few teams have inquired about his services. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has recently, told Ed Woodward, to step up the pursuit of Bruno Fernandes and all that. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, basically is demanding, Bruno Fernandes' arrival by the beginning of next month. So basically, he wants the deal to be secured for Bruno Fernandes by the beginning of next month. But basically, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, did say last month, he wants the majority of our transfer business, completed by the 1st of July and all that. But I don't think it will be completed by the 1st of July. It may be completed by the 7th of July. But he wants the Bruno Fernandes deal secured by the 1st of July. I think think, it reflected out last week, saying that, we'd met up with Bruno Fernandes' agent, obviously, discussing Bruno Fernandes' potential switch to Old Trafford this summer. And obviously, it did say we're preparing to put a bid in for him of around £49 million. Obviously, Sporting Lisbon are demanding they want at least around £62 million for him. But I don't think, of course, Manchester United are willing to pay this. Obviously, a lot of reports came out last week, saying that Tottenham had stepped up their interest in Bruno Fernandes, and it did basically say, that Tottenham had been in negotiations with Bruno Fernandes' agent. Obviously, I think it was on Wednesday of last week, that obviously, his agent had travelled to London, to have negotiations with Tottenham and all that, because obviously, Tottenham do want to do transfer activity this summer, and obviously, Tottenham have got quite a few players on their agenda, because obviously, Tottenham have not done any transfer activity in the last couple of windows. Obviously, they're in the market, to look for the replacement for Christian Eriksen, because actually, Christian Eriksen is linked with a move to Real Madrid. And obviously, if Christian Eriksen does leave, obviously, Tottenham are going to want a replacement for him. And obviously, they are seeing Bruno Fernandes as a replacement for him. Obviously, Tottenham can offer Bruno Fernandes Champions League football and all that. I do believe Tanguy Ndombele is on Tottenham's agenda. I think Tanguy Ndombele is actually, one of Tottenham's main priority targets. Also, they're in for Giovanni Lo Celso from Real Betis. It also said, we've been in, for Giovanni Lo Celso. But like I said, Tottenham have definitely, been in there for Bruno Fernandes. But obviously, Mauricio Pochettino, wants back in this summer, because obviously, I think he did say prior to the Champions League final, he has threatened to resign as Tottenham manager, of course, if he's in back in this summer transfer window. But like I said, the last signing they got, was Lucas Moura, back in January 2018. But yeah, Tottenham have definitely been in there for him. Obviously, Liverpool are in for him. I still think Liverpool are in for Bruno Fernandes now. Obviously, a lot of reports reflected out last week saying that Liverpool had put a bid in for him of around 45 million euros. Obviously, this equates to around 40 million in pounds sterling and all that. I don't think this obviously would be nowhere near enough to convince Sporting Lisbon to currently offload him. But I think the Portuguese press ball have reported we are considered as the favourites to get the player's signature and all that. But I do like Bruno Fernandes a lot. He's primarily an attacking midfielder. He is only 24 years of age, and I think he would be the good, adequate replacement for Paul Pogba. That midfield area is one of the pivotal areas where we do need to strengthen up. And like I said, if Pogba goes, I think we're going to at least need two new additions in that midfield. We need depth in that midfield. We need someone that can score goals in that midfield. And definitely, Bruno Fernandes, would be the right solution. I think he would rejuvenate the team. Like I said, he brings them goals that we do need. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes has been at Sporting Lisbon a couple of seasons. Obviously, I think he scored about 31 goals in all competitions last season. He's under contract with Sporting Lisbon until 2023. His initial release clause is around £86 million. But let's, don't get me wrong, he hasn't really played to the highest level as yet. But I think he's definitely got all the attributes and to succeed in the Premier League. And I definitely think he would exceed expectation levels in the Premier League. And him coming to the Premier League is going to definitely rejuvenate his career and, of course, take his footballing career to the next level. But like I said, quite a few teams have been in there for him. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes, spent the majority of his career in Italy, when he was younger, with the likes of Sampdoria underneath. And Bruno Fernandes, did actually say, he was attracted, to the history and mystique of Manchester United, because obviously, we have got a good history. Like I said, we have been a toxic club for the last 5 or 6 years, but, players still may want to come to Manchester United, because obviously, we are still one of the biggest clubs in the world. We've got a fantastic fan base. A stadium is absolutely static. We are the most successful team in England, historically, and all that. Like I said, I know it's going to be hard for us to attract players to the highest level, because obviously, we're not in a Champions League football for next season, and Champions League football, like I said, is always very pivotal, when you do want to get your number one targets. But like I said, Bruno Fernandes, would be the right solution for Manchester United. And like I said, it would be a fantastic replacement for Paul Pogba and all that. But I do believe the next two signings are going to be Àaron Bissaka and Bruno Fernandes. But obviously, as I've been updating you on a regular basis about Paul Pogba, as you all know, it's looking very likely, that he is going to be leaving Manchester United this summer. I do presume it is, currently, going to happen, because obviously, Paul Pogba had informed the other week, he told Tokyo reporters, that he does basically, want to leave Manchester United. He publicly announced announced, you know, that he does want to seek a new challenger and all that. And obviously, you know, Paul Pogba, you know, wants to rejuvenate his career. And he did even say he was even willing to go on strike, you know, to force a move away from Manchester United. And like I said, maybe the couple of main factor reasons why he does currently want to leave the club, because maybe Paul Pogba wants to be playing amongst better players. You know, maybe, you know, he wants to be winning Super, he wants to be challenging, he wants to be in Champions League football. And of course, Manchester United can't offer him Champions League football. And of course, you know, he's not experiencing good times at Manchester United, you know, Paul Pogba. So maybe he is frustrated, you know, with the lack of competitiveness and all that. We're doing it as being Real Madrid and Juventus that have been battling out for his services. His likely destination has been Real Madrid, you know, for quite some time, and I do believe his first choice preference has been Real Madrid. But reports have been coming out at least in the last couple of weeks, you know, saying that Juventus are interested in re-signing him. He did basically say the other week that Juventus director had travelled to London, you know, to hold negotiations with Manchester United over the possibility of signing Pogba. Juventus have also been in negotiations with his agent Raiola and all that. But like I said, probably more than likely, you know, Juventus would have to offload at least one or two of their essential players as part of the deal to fund the move for Paul Pogba, because obviously I don't think Juventus would be able to afford him outright, because obviously, you know, we put a huge transfer fee on Paul Pogba. We indicated that is basically, you know, not for sale, but he did say we would probably accept a bid in the region of around 150 or 160 million pounds. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how much of an imperative player he is, and I think also Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is working on keeping his imperative players at the football club this summer, rather than you know working on, you know, getting the right players to Manchester United. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how imperative, you know, Paul Pogba is. I think it was initially in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans, you know, to actually, you know, build a side around Paul Pogba. But like I said, you know, and I think, you know, recently, you know, the Juventus director had came out and, you know, he was explaining how much, you know, Juventus love Paul Pogba and all that, because obviously, you know, he did have 4 good years in Turin, you know, did Paul Pogba, you know, exceeded expectation levels and all that, you know, did really, really well, but he hasn't really replicated this form, you know, since he did come back at Manchester United. Obviously, you know, we paid £89 million for him, obviously our most expensive signing and all that. But like I said, you know, Juventus have got quite a few players on their agenda. Obviously, they're on the brink of getting They're on the brink of getting Matty Serdal for Ajax. Obviously, Adrian Rabiot's on their current agenda. I think also Tanguy Ndombele is on their agenda, and I do believe, you know, Juventus have got a budget, you know, and all that. Obviously, they got Ronaldo last summer, was it, for around £106 million. So basically, I don't think they'd be able to afford Paul Pogba outright. Basically, it did say, you know, the couple of players Juventus were willing to offer, you know, was Douglas Costa. Obviously, he's previously been linked to a move to Manchester United in the past. Obviously, you know, Paul Dybala, you know, he did say Juventus could offer Paul Dybala as part of the deal with Paul Pogba and all that. But like I said, I think his first choice preference, you know, has been Real Madrid, you know, for quite some time. I think Paul Pogba is actually, you know, keen on, you know, playing under Zinedine Zidane's guidance and all that, because probably, you know, Paul Pogba, you know, believes he will flourish under Zinedine Zidane's guidance. Obviously, you know, Real Madrid so far have signed 5 players this summer. Obviously, you know, they have signed 5 players this summer, but obviously, you know, Paul Pogba is one of their main targets. But Paul Pogba, you know, was saying a while back, you know, he did say about his dreams of playing for Real Madrid. He did say, you know, they are one of the biggest clubs in the world, and he did say at some point in his career, you know, of course, he does want to play for Real Madrid. But Real Madrid, of course, are reluctant, you know, to pay up to £150 million for him. Obviously, it did basically say, you know, Real Madrid, you know, could offer Gareth Bale as part of a transfer offer for Paul Pogba. So if Paul Pogba does go to Real Madrid and he does leave Manchester United, possibly, you know, Bale, you know, could be still part of the deal. But I was reading a lot of reports last week, and, you know, it would basically say, you know, we was, you know, willing to offer Paul Pogba a long-term contract, you know, worth up to £500,000 a week. Obviously, you know, Paul Pogba at the moment has got 2 years left on his current deal with an option to extend it by a further year, and he is on about £290,000 a week. He also mentioned last week that we was willing to hand Paul Pogba a loyalty bonus. You know, I think he was set to be handed. I think he's set to be handed this payment at the beginning of next month. I think this is this loyalty bonus thing is worth around £4 million. Well, worth almost around £4 million. Came out about 3 or 4 weeks ago, saying that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, was willing to offer, you know, Paul Pogba the captaincy in a bid, you know, to convince him to remain at the football club. But anyway, I think we do need to sell Paul Pogba, because it will help us with our transition. You know, we'll generate funds and all that, and we'll be able to rebuild the squad. But it's very essential that we do get him a replacement for him. I think it's going to be difficult for us to find you know, a player, a replacement of, you know, and a player of Paul Pogba's calibre and level and all that. But like I said, you know, even though Paul Pogba hasn't been the fundamental player as we all thought he would have been, I still believe Paul Pogba, you know, is probably, you know, worth around £150 million. But like I said, he's been subject to a hell of a lot of transfer speculation. Obviously, Paul Pogba with the club, he's won the Europa League. Obviously, he's won the League Cup. Obviously, that came in his second season there with Manchester United. Obviously, that came in Jose Mourinho's first season and all that. But yeah, there was a lot of talks about him going last year, based on his poor relationship with Jose Mourinho. Obviously, there was talks of Paul Pogba, going to, Juventus last year. I think there was also talks about him, going to Barcelona in January. But Paul Pogba is only 26 years of age, and he has still got a hell of a lot of years ahead of him and all that. But I do believe, we do need to come to him. But like I said, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to sell him now. Not because, he doesn't think he's a talented player or he's not reflecting on his behaviour. He basically wants to sell him, to help raise funds. Because as you all know now, we've reportedly, being only given him £100 million. And he did basically say, further spending, will be dependent on, player money, raised by players' sales and all that. But like I said, probably about 3, 4, maybe 5 players are expected, to leave Manchester United this summer. But like I said, I think Bruno Fernandes, would be the good adequate replacement for him. Talking about James Maddison from Leicester, because there has been a lot of talks about him going on, and I like James Maddison a lot, and I think is he actually a Manchester United fan? Some people were saying, or boyhood Manchester United fan. I read him reports the other day, and it did say he's allegedly asked to meet Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I think he's notified his agent about this, and reportedly said he's allegedly interested in a move to Manchester United with James Maddison, and I like James Maddison a lot. Again, I think he'd be a good adequate replacement for Paul Pogba. He is primarily attacking midfielder, he is only 22 years of age, is James Maddison, but yeah, very, very good player, plus he's British. I think reports came out about 3 or 4 weeks ago, saying that Manchester United were in for him. It did say, we emerged him as our priority target and all that. It did say we had made initial contact, and it did say, if he was willing to leave Leicester this summer, it said Leicester, wanted around £60 million. But I do believe, Manchester United, would be happy to pay that. Obviously, he's had the year of experience under his belt in the Premier League, because obviously last season was his debut season in the Premier League. I think last season he was involved in 14 goals, so obviously got 7 goals, 7 assists. I think he also created more chances than any other player in the Premier League, of course. So yeah, his statistics are very, very impressive. I think he's got 4 years left on his deal with Leicester. Obviously, Leicester got James Maddison last summer from Norwich for around £20 million. But I think quite a few teams have been tracking him, since he was a teenager at Coventry, because obviously, James Maddison began his career with Coventry and progressing up their youth system and all that. I think he also had a loan spell in Scotland with Aberdeen. Obviously, he did serve a couple of years in the Championship, with Norwich and all that. But yeah, very, very good player. Can create chances, can score goals, can provide, and he obviously he's proven in the Premier League. So I think the vast majority of people would like James Maddison to currently go to their teams. But yeah, it did say 3 or 4 weeks ago saying that Manchester United of course were in for him. But if Leicester were to get £60 million, obviously they would make around £40 million profit and all that. But yeah, reportedly he's asked to meet up with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but I think he would be a good replacement for Paul Pogba. Obviously, there was a lot of talks about Youri Tielemans, going on the other week, saying that reportedly, we'd revived our interest in him, basically, and it said we'd basically, been in negotiations with his agent and all that, over getting a possible, deal concluded. He is available for a reasonable figure, is Youri Tielemans. Initially, Monaco rate him at around £40 million. Quite a few teams have inquired about his services. Obviously, Leicester are keen on getting him on a permanent deal. Obviously, he had been on loan with Leicester, since January. Obviously now he's no longer on loan with Leicester. His loan spell's come to an end, and he has returned to Monaco. But I think he's confirmed from his own perspective he will not be playing with Monaco next season and all that. But like I said, Leicester are keen on getting him on a permanent deal, because yesterday Youri Tielemans was pivotal in Leicester's transformation under Brendan Rodgers and all that. But I think it's initially in Leicester's plans, to actually partner up, Youri Tielemans alongside James Maddison, because obviously Leicester believe they'll blend in together really, really well in their midfield, and they'd blend in very, very well and all that. And this is made one of the main factor reasons why Leicester want to get him on a permanent deal. But like Tottenham have been in for him, also Manchester City have been in for him. But yeah, he has now returned to Monaco. I think initially Monaco got him for around £21 million, was it, for Anderlecht and all that. I think also Manchester United were tracking Youri Tielemans when he was at Anderlecht, because obviously he began his career with Anderlecht and all that. But very, very good player. I think he's mainly box to box midfielder. I think he can also play as attacker midfielder. But like I said, he would be a good replacement for Paul Pogba. Like I said, only 22 years of age. Like I said, there was a lot of talks about, David Brooks, going on the other day. I did read up about that. I don't think a lot of Manchester United fans, would be keen on recommending him in. I think he's actually, a boyhood Manchester United fan. Is David Brooks reportedly. He's only 21 years of age. He's Welsh. I think he made his Wales senior debut in 2017. I think he does know Daniel James very, very well, because obviously Daniel James is Welsh, and obviously David Brooks and Daniel James both playing the Wales national team and all that. David Brooks has had the year of experience under his belt in the Premier League. Obviously it was his debut season last season in the Premier League with Bournemouth. I think he played about 30 games. I think he was involved in 12 goals. Got 7 goals, provided 5 assists. So didn't do bad, in his first season in the Premier League. I think potentially he's got he signed a 4-year contract with Bournemouth. Obviously, Bournemouth got him last summer from Sheffield United for around £11.5 million pounds and all that. But yeah, he did say Manchester United were interested in signing him. He probably would take a bid of around £50 million pounds, to convince Bournemouth, to offload him and all that. But yeah, obviously, he actually began his career in Manchester. Did David Brooks when he was a lot younger. Obviously, so he's had experience of playing in Manchester. I think he served about a decade in Manchester City's youth academy, but obviously, he never broke into Manchester City's first team. As soon as he left City, he joined Sheffield United's youth academy, graduated from their youth system, and actually, broke into Sheffield United's senior team and all that. I think he also had a loan spell with Halifax. Did David Brooks, but I think he can score goals as he did prove last season. His versatility is very, very good. I think he's primarily an attacker midfielder, isn't he? But I think he can also, play as a winner. I think he can also play in a deeper midfielder role. He can play behind the front man and all that. So he did show good versatility, last season with Bournemouth. But he did say, Manchester United were in for him. So do you think he would be a good replacement for Paul Pogba? But like I said, as he updated you yesterday, there was a lot of reports going on about Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. Now, obviously, this came from Forbes. They were talking about it. It also came from the Metro, also came from the Mirror and all that. And it's been in quite a few media outlets, saying that, we could reignite our interest in Jadon Sancho on one condition, and that is if Paul Pogba, leaves Manchester United this summer, which is expected to happen anywhere. So basically, initially, the club are orchestrating on, generating the funds from Paul Pogba's departure and then putting them funds on Jadon Sancho. I think he's initially rated at least around £70 million pounds. But obviously, obviously Jadon Sancho for quite a while, was our number one priority target. Obviously, he was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first choice, back in January, because I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, likes the prospect, of linking Jadon Sancho up, with the likes of Rashford and Martial in our attacking line, because I think Jadon Sancho, would have blended in, very, very well. He's only 19 years of age and all that. But like I said, he was the club's number one target. But I think our hopes, we thought we obviously thought our hopes we thought our hopes of bringing Jadon Sancho in had obviously come to an end. The main factor reason why this is because obviously we failed to qualify for the Champions League for next season. But I like Jadon Sancho a lot. He's the obvious candidate for the wing, because obviously he's primarily a winner as Jadon Sancho. Sometimes I think you can play him centrally, but I think he's primarily a winner. Obviously, before Jadon, Borussia Dortmund, did value him at around £100 million, but he did say, before, we was willing to pay him around £100 million for his services. But I think, if Jadon Sancho, was to come back to the Premier League, I think, it would create a better platform for him. I think it would also, help him, with his developing process and all that, and it would rejuvenate his career and take his footballing career to the next level. But I think he's set to remain loyal, to Borussia Dortmund at least for another season. Obviously, he has been at Borussia Dortmund a couple of years and all that, and he has done, really, really well. He is under contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2022. Obviously, he's had experience of playing in Manchester, like I said, because he did serve a couple of years with Manchester City in their youth academy. Obviously, never broke into their first team and all that. Obviously, I think the main factor reason why I left Manchester City, because obviously, he wasn't guaranteed, first team football and all that regularly. And obviously, this is why I left Manchester City to go to a club, to go to a club that, could guarantee team football, and obviously, you know, he has experience, you know, this with Borussia Dortmund. And I think initially, you know, Jadon Sancho, you know, began his career with Watford, but I think, you know, Borussia Dortmund, you know, paid around £7 or was it £8 million for his services, you know, for Manchester City, you know, back in 2017. So if Borussia Dortmund could cash in around maybe 70 or 80 million pounds, you know, they would make a huge profit on the player. But I think, you know, from Borussia Dortmund's perspective, you know, they know how much of an essential player that Jadon Sancho is, and I think Borussia Dortmund have confirmed that he's in their current plans. Because, like I said, Borussia Dortmund have sold, you know, quite a few players in recent years. You know, they sold Aubameyang for around £56 million to Arsenal a couple of years ago. Obviously, they sold Ousmane Dembele to Barcelona, you know, quite a few years ago. So, Borussia Dortmund do know how much of an essential player Jadon Sancho is. Obviously, Jadon Sancho won't be intending on spending the rest of his playing career in Germany with Borussia Dortmund, because at some point, like I said, he's going to want to take his footballing career to the next level. And like I said, he's only 19 years of age, so obviously he's still got a hell of a lot of development in him. So he did say we could only move him, reignite our interest. This is, of course, if Paul Poppy, you know, currently leaves the club. But I don't see, you know, Jadon Sancho, you know, currently, you know, coming in anywhere. Obviously, as he updated you earlier on about Nicolas Pepe from Lille, obviously, you know, he's been on our current agenda. I updated you about this yesterday, and I've been actually, you know, updating you quite a lot about Nicolas Pepe, because obviously, you know, it's looking very imminent. He is going to be leaving Lille early summer. Obviously, you know, it still remains fully uncertain, you know, where Nicolas Pepe, you know, will be applying his trade next season. Obviously, so many teams have inquired about his services, but it got confirmed about 5 or 6 weeks ago. It may have been even longer than that now. You know, that Lille chairman had confirmed, you know, that Nicolas Pepe, you know, will be leaving Lille this summer and all that. I think, you know, initially Lille rated him at around £70 million. But I think Duncan Castles had come out, you know, who's a journalist, like I said, you know, he basically said, you know, that we'd been in for him. He also said that Liverpool had been in for him, and he did basically say, you know, we'd made initial contact with Lille. I think we'd made initial contact with the Lille director over the possible move for Nicolas Pepe. He also said that Liverpool had made contact. Liverpool had also, you know, been in negotiations with his agent and all that. And you know, quite a few teams have been in there for him. I think Arsenal have been linked to him since January, but I think Arsenal have come to accept the fact that, you know, they won't be getting him, you know, based on what, you know, Lille are demanding for him. Plus, Arsenal are not in a Champions League football for next season, but Arsenal have been in there for him, you know, since January. Obviously, you know, Bayern Munich have been in for him, because obviously Bayern Munich are looking for the replacement for Arjen Robben. Obviously, you know, Arjen Robben, I think, has he left Bayern Munich, or is he you know, going to be leaving Bayern Munich? Obviously, Bayern Munich also want a replacement for Frank Ribery. It also said that Inter Milan are in there for him. I think Inter Milan have stepped up their move for, you know, Nicolas Pepe. I think also Atletico Madrid are also, you know, in there for him. You know, but I think, you know, from Nicolas Pepe's perspective, you know, he actually prefers a move to PSG. I think, you know, Neymar's actually linked to a move back to Barcelona and all that. So it's obviously, you know, Neymar goes, obviously, you know, PSG are going to see, you know, Nicolas Pepe as the adequate replacement for him and all that. But like I said, you know, so many teams have inquired about his services, but very, very good player. He would be the obvious candidate for the right win for Manchester United, because he's primarily a winner. He has been at Lille a couple of seasons. I think he scored 37 goals in about 37 goals is it in 79 appearances in all competitions for Lille. He has been there only a couple of seasons. I think last season he scored 22 goals and provided 11 assists, so he was the revelation for Lille last season. But I think he's under contract with Lille until 2022. You know, Nicolas Pepe has actually so far spent the entirety of his career in France. Obviously, before he was at Lille, he was at Angers, and Lille obviously, you know, got him from Angers, you know, back in 2017. But I think him coming to the Premier League would definitely rejuvenate his career. He would be the next step for Nicolas Pepe. But I do believe he's got all the attributes to definitely, you know, succeed in the Premier League. And I could imagine, you know, the prospect, you know, of linking Nicolas Pepe up the likes of Rashford and Martial and all that. I think it would be fantastic. He'd been as them goals that we do need. He's got immense talent. He can also provide them and all that. But yeah, I really, really like Nicolas Pepe a lot. But there's still, you know, rumours going in for him, but rumours going on about him. But it does say, you know, Manchester United are now back in for him. But there has been quite a few winners on our agenda, you know, let alone midfielders. Because, you know, we definitely, you know, do need a winner and all that. We're okay on that left-hand side, because I think the majority of our attack, you know, is coming from that left-hand side. But I think we need, definitely we've got to adjust that right-hand side without a shadow of a doubt. But I think the likes of Nicolas Pepe and Jadon Sancho, you know, would be a much better solution, you know, than Gareth Bale from Real Madrid and all that, in my own opinion. But like I said, as I've been updating you on a regular basis about Romelu Lukaku and all that, obviously, it's looking very imminent. He's going to be leaving Manchester United. And I think, it will be very beneficial, if we do currently sell Romelu Lukaku. Like I said, it will help us over our transition and all that. Obviously, we do know he's been heavily linked with a move to Inter Milan. Obviously, the fee is actually problematic for Inter Milan, because obviously I don't think Inter Milan can, generate enough funds, to meet the £75 million valuation, because obviously, we're demanding one around £75 million for Lukaku. So basically, we're looking to recoup the majority of the money that we did pay for him. Should I say, the majority of the money, that we did pay for him from Everton, back in 2017. He's been at Manchester United a couple of years, but we got him for £75 million with £15 million in add-ons, which had initially risen the deal to £90 million. And of course, he has still got 3 years left on his contract, and he's on about £250,000 a week and all that. But I think, everything else has been agreed, with Lukaku and Inter Milan, except the fee. I think he has agreed personal terms with Inter Milan. I think he's agreed a deal, with around £180,000 a week over Inter Milan. And I think he's, like I said, he has agreed around a 5-year deal and all that. Obviously, Antonio Conte has identified, Romelu Lukaku as his number one target. Reflecting back a couple of years ago, Antonio Conte, wanted Romelu Lukaku, when he was a Chelsea manager and all that. But obviously, Lukaku had ended up, making the move to Manchester United. But Lukaku obviously wants to make the move to Inter Milan. Obviously, I think from Lukaku's perspective, he recently, described Antonio Conte as one of the best managers in the world. And like I said, Lukaku probably believes, he can flourish under Antonio Conte's guidance. But like I said, we want around £75 million pounds and all that. Lukaku has been at the club a couple of seasons. Obviously, he scored 42 goals in 96 games in all competition. Did really well in his first season, but didn't really replicate his form in his second season. Lukaku, because like I said, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been recommended in, obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's preference has been Marcus Rashford. So obviously, Rashford's been first choice ahead of Lukaku, and obviously, Lukaku is reluctant, to play a backup role to Marcus Rashford. So basically, Lukaku is now his service to requirements at the club. But I think we told him a couple of weeks ago, that he can't leave Manchester United and all that. And obviously, Lukaku's agent had revealed a while back, that his future is very, very open. But I think Lukaku's pedigree is very, very good in the Premier League. His ratio is very, very good. He has scored a lot of goals and all that. But you do know I have got strong reservations about him. But I think he will make the move to Inter Milan, like I currently said. So I do believe he will be playing his trade in next season. Obviously, I was reading a lot of reports yesterday, they're saying that Inter Milan have offered us Icardi in exchange for Romelu Lukaku. Obviously, it did say we could consider, signing Icardi as part of a deal, which would obviously, see Lukaku, move to Inter Milan. So obviously, it's a current swap deal, but I think this would be beneficial for us because I like Mario Icardi a lot. Because I like Mario Icardi a lot. I think he's a really, really good player. He's got a lot of goals in him. He can lead the lines, and he's proven this, in his 6-year spell in Italy, with Inter Milan. I think he's scored about 100, and is it about how many goals he's scored now? About 111 goals in 188 games for Inter Milan. So he has done, really, really well. And I think Inter Milan, actually, want to get rid of Mario Icardi. Because obviously, I think Inter Milan have increasingly, become frustrated with him. And obviously, I think he lost the captaincy, back in February and all that. But I think, Inter Milan do want to, currently get rid of him. So reportedly, would be interested in bringing him in as part of the deal with Romelu Lukaku and all that. But Icardi's been in Inter Milan 6 years. He's Inter Milan's 9th highest top goal scorer of all time. I think he's about 26 years of age, so more or less he's the same age as Romelu Lukaku. But yeah, he's really done well. He's done really, really well in his 6-year period with Inter Milan. But Manchester United have been in for Mario Icardi, quite a few times. Don't get me wrong, I have got some reservations about him. Some of his touches concern me. Some of his defensive abilities concern me. But he's got that endless potential. He's an efficient finisher, and he can, currently score goals. Because that was another problem last season. Wasn't scoring enough goals. Obviously, wasn't ruthless enough in front of goal. And I do believe, Mario Icardi, would be the right solution for Manchester United and all that. Obviously, hasn't played in the Premier League as yet, but like I said, Mario Icardi has still got quite a lot of development in him and all that. Before he was at Inter Milan, I think he actually began his professional career with Sampdoria. I think he only spent a season, with Sampdoria and all that. And obviously, I think he actually, graduated from Barcelona's youth system in Mario Icardi. But I think Damasio, who's an Italian journalist who's very reliable, especially in relation to Manchester United when it comes to transfers, he did say a while back, that we could swap Lukaku for Mario Icardi this summer. It also said that Ivan Perisic had been offered as part of the deal for Lukaku, plus cash had been offered from Inter Milan, but reportedly Manchester United had turned this down because obviously we do know that Ivan Perisic is no longer a Manchester United target. It was a long-term target under Jose Mourinho, but he's no longer now a Manchester United target. He's Ivan Perisic. But like I said, I think it would be beneficial, if we do currently offload Romelu Lukaku. Definitely other players, I think the likes of Darmian will definitely be leaving. I think also Rojo will be leaving. I think we can raise around 25 or 30 million pounds, for the departures of them, because obviously, both of them have endured their difficult times at Manchester United. With Sanchez, not too sure about him. I think we're struggling, to actually, offload Alexis Sanchez. Obviously, he's clearly one of the problematic players in the club, but the main factor reason why we're struggling to offload him is because obviously, this is reflecting on his substantial wages. He's on 400 grand a week, potentially rising up to 500 grand a week, based on image rights and the bonuses. It totally adds up to around £500,000 a week. And like I said, his wages are having a really bad effect on the football club. Obviously, Sanchez has been here since January 2018. Sanchez has been here since January 2018, and he hasn't been the fundamental player really, as we all thought. He would have been. As we all thought it would have been. I do apologise about that. Because looking at, Sanchez, did have 4 good years there with Arsenal. He even played under Pep Guardiola, when he was younger at Barcelona. But obviously, did really, really well. But he hasn't replicated this form at Manchester United. Like I said, doesn't have a future at the club anyway. He's 30. He hasn't, basically has lost that yard of pace. So I think we definitely, need to offload Alexis Sanchez because he is one of the problematic players at the club. But like I said, probably expect around 3 or 4 players to leave. Like I've updated you about David De Gea. Obviously, it's looking likely now he's going to be staying at the club. Obviously, with De Gea, obviously, we're back in talks over the £350,000 a week deal for him. Obviously, we are now reportedly set to meet his £350,000 a week wage demand. We're set to give him a new contract of 4 years. With an option to extend it by a further year. So I'm very, very happy about this. But for quite a very long time, we was not willing to meet his £350,000 a week wage demands. Obviously, we allegedly had £300,000 a week on the table for him. Since the turn of the year and all that. But obviously, this obviously, isn't enough, to convince David De Gea to sign a new contract, because obviously that's 50,000, less, than what he's currently demanding him and all that. So basically, David De Gea, wants to be one of the highest players at the club alongside Alexis Sanchez. But yeah, I think we are set to give him a new contract now, and he's still got a lot of development in him as De Gea. He's 28 years of age. Obviously, he's had a fantastic career so far with Manchester United. He has been a long servant here. He's been here 8 years. Obviously, he has made over 300 other appearances in all competitions. Obviously, he's won the club's player of the year. I think 5 times out of the last 6 or 7 years. Reflecting on his impressive performances. And like I said, he's won everything domestically, and he has been here, since the Alex Ferguson era and all that. Obviously, he was looking likely he was going to be making the move to PSG. Obviously, PSG, actually, was his likely destination at one point. Obviously, he was linked with a £60 million move to PSG, because initially PSG had set their interest up, because obviously, Buffon has left PSG or is leaving PSG, and obviously, PSG are going to want a replacement for him. But I think now PSG have initially opted out of the race for De Gea, because they've turned their attentions more on Donnarumma. Obviously, Real Madrid have been linked to him for a number of years. Reflecting back in 2015, Real Madrid were on the brink of getting De Gea, but due to a fax machine, the deal never materialised. And like I said, David De Gea obviously began his career in Spain, with Atletico Madrid. Obviously, his girlfriend is in Spain. Obviously, his relatives and that in Spain. And obviously, he grew up in Spain. Did De Gea. So, like I said, if he was going to leave, maybe he would be keen on making the return back to Spain. But we know now he's not going to be leaving. He's going to be signing a new long-term contract with Manchester United. But we have been in negotiations at least for the last 18 or 19 months. But like I said, I'm very, very happy about this. And David De Gea in his current deal at the moment, he's on about 200 grand a week, so he's going to get around £150,000 pay rise and all that. But yeah, very, very delighted about this. And David De Gea, hasn't really done much on him in his 8-year period. I know he was making cost mistakes towards the back end of last season, but that was mainly, to do with the contractual situation. But now, it's looking like, David De Gea is going to be staying. But I'm really, really impressed about this. He may be frustrated with lack of competitiveness from Manchester United and all that. But yeah, very, very happy about this. Obviously, I already give you the latest news about Matt, didn't I? Obviously, Juan Mata is going to be now staying at Manchester United. Obviously, the club will give him a new 2-year contract with an option, to extend it by a further year. Obviously, like I said, I've already give you an update on that. But I think that's been another problem with Manchester United. We have let far too many players' contracts run down. Obviously, that's been an issue and all that. Obviously, I already give you the breaking news, didn't I? By Harry Maguire yesterday. Obviously, we do know that it's looking very likely that Harry Maguire is going to be joining Manchester City sometime this week. I think for a world record fee of around £80 million. Obviously, this will make Harry Maguire the most expensive defender in world football, ahead of Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk, because obviously Virgil van Dijk at the moment is the most expensive defender in world football. Obviously, Liverpool had paid around £75 million for his services. I think also City are set to pay Harry Maguire around £280,000 a week, and I think reportedly Harry Maguire has currently agreed this, but it has been Manchester United and Manchester City that being mainly battling out for his services and all that. But Harry Maguire has confirmed from his own preference that he wants to join Manchester City. He's told his friends, he's basically going to be signing for Manchester City and all that. Obviously, when he goes to City, he's going to be playing alongside John Stones. He's also going to be playing alongside Laporte and all that. Probably now maybe City may consider offloading or Mendy, when Harry Maguire does arrive. But I think actually City had initially scheduled a medical for Harry Maguire. Obviously, so I think he's set for his Manchester City medical. But he said from TalkSport he's set to sign for Manchester City, sometime this week. And obviously, City are seeing Harry Maguire as a replacement for Vincent Kompany. So they're set to get him for £80 million. Like I said, he's not worth £80 million, is Harry Maguire. Because initially, we was confident we could beat Manchester City to the signing of him, to be quite fair. Because obviously we was confident because City were reluctant to pay up to £80 million for him. City initially only valued him at around £50 million and all that. And he did say, I think these reports coming out last week, saying that we was prepared, to spend up to £80 million for him. Of course, Ed Woodward was keen on recommending, Harry Maguire in. We was even willing to offer him a contract, up to around £350,000 a week. And like I said, he's been one of our top priorities as Harry Maguire. And like I said, we need someone that can go alongside Victor Lindelof in our backline. And I do believe Harry Maguire, would complement, Victor Lindelof, really, really well. And like I said, I wouldn't put him in Virgil van Dijk's calibre or level. I wouldn't put him in Koulibaly's calibre or level and all that, because he's nowhere near on their level as Harry Maguire. But I still believe he's a good central defender. He holds his line really, really well. His defensive abilities, are really, really good. And he's, of course, proven in the Premier League and all that. I don't think we was willing to pay £90 million for his services. But looking at ultimate, Leicester don't even want to sell Harry Maguire. This is why they've priced him out of the transfer market. This is why they are demanding an extortionate amount for him. But he's not worth £80 million, like I said. He's been at Leicester a couple of seasons. Obviously, I think he's played about 76 games for them in all competitions. I think 69 of them have come in the Premier League. Obviously, Leicester got him from Hull City, back in 2017, for around £17 million. Obviously, Harry Maguire only signed a new long-term contract with Leicester last summer, so he is under contract with them until 2023. But like I said, he has been one of our main targets, and obviously, Harry Maguire was one of the players that Jose Mourinho, wanted last summer and all that. Obviously, we didn't get his number one targets last summer because the board weren't back in the signings that Jose Mourinho wanted to recommend her to come in. But our priority was last summer to recommend a centre-back to come in. But I think Leicester said they wanted around £70 million for Harry Maguire last summer. But looking very imminent, he's going to be going to Manchester City, and he's going to be Manchester City's first major signing this summer. And obviously, Harry Maguire, probably likes Man City. Obviously, he does believe he'll flourish under Pep Guardiola's guidance and all that. So yeah, he is now going to be going to Manchester City. So Manchester United are set to miss out on him. But like I said, I think we need at least one central defender. that's very, very essential because, like I said, we have got issues defensively. But like I said, I do believe our expectations, going on into next season, probably, will be to finish in the top four, maybe in the Carabao Cup, maybe winning the Europa League and all that. I don't think it'll be, to win the league or, transfer league our expectations, because I think we're a number of years off, from winning the league or, challenging for the league and all that. Because obviously at the moment, City is strides ahead of us, Liverpool is strides ahead of us, and it's very imperative that we catch up with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. But I do believe in the next couple of seasons, our aspirations is definitely currently going to be that top four, like I currently said, and I hope it works out under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I don't want us to sack him because we haven't got the structure to keep sacking managers. He was a great player for Manchester United for 11 years. He hasn't really got the experience of a manager. Not to the highest level, especially. That's what does currently concern me. But I think we need to give him at least a year. Maybe even a couple of years. To see how it currently works out and all that. But yeah, so like I said, it's looking very imminent anyway, that Àaron Bissaka is going to be our second signing this summer. I think also negotiations have basically, it also mentioned what the Healths have been talking about in negotiations and all that Crystal Palace are also demanding for Wilfried Zaha's sell-on clause to be removed, or if not removed, at least reduced and all that. So basically the one is, basically Crystal Palace wanting, basically remove his sell-on clause. It did say if they are willing to let Àaron Bissaka, join Manchester United. But he's set to undergo his medical sometime this week. A fee is close to an agreement. I don't think it's been fully agreed as yet. Like I said, we're set to pay a fee of around £40 million, but obviously there's going to be a series of add-ons including the deal, which will potentially rise it to around £55 million and all that. But I think he has agreed the terms with Manchester United, so his salary is obviously being sorted out and all. It's set to. I think he's going to be earning around £80,000 a week, with Manchester United. Is Àaron Bissaka. But like I said, looking really, really forward, to Àaron Bissaka, currently, coming in. And then hopefully, after we get Àaron Bissaka, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priorities, of course, are then to get a centre-back in, and of course, to get a midfielder in and all that, and as he was, basically saying. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on this channel. If you do consider subscribing, as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching, guys.